Hi, welcome back to Godly Play. I'm Miss Gayle and I'm with All Saints Episcopal Church. And I'm here with my sweet little Ellie, and we're ready to hear more of the story of Advent. And hope you're ready too. Get snuggled up and comfortable because we're not done yet. You remember that we're in the season of Advent, and we know this. Why? Because we see the color blue or purple, depending on where you go to church. We're using blue. Not only is blue a beautiful color, it's also a serious color. And it's the color that royalty would use, like kings and queens. So we use it because it's telling us something. It's sending us a message. It's telling us that a king is coming. But like we've talked about before, this is not like the same kings that we see around most of the time in stories. This is a very different king. This is not a king that has a lot of money. It's not a king that has a big, strong army. And it's not a king that lives in a fancy castle on a hill. Nope. This king's very, very different. It's pretty incredible because this king is a little baby. And it wasn't born in a castle. It was born in a barn. Why, that's quite the mystery, isn't it? How a child comes and changes everything. That's the mystery of Christmas. And sometimes mysteries are hard to get into, so we need help getting ready. And especially for this one, because it's such an important one, the mystery of Christmas. We wouldn't want to miss it. So let's get ready together, shall we? And we have some help in the midst of this busy, busy time. That's right. If you remember, we've talked about some of this help that we've had. We have the prophets. And the prophets are people that are so close to God, and God comes so close to them that they always seem to know what's most important. Who's most important? What's the most important thing to do? And for the purposes of our story today, they know where to go, and they point the way. They pointed the way to Bethlehem. That's the journey towards Bethlehem. That's the journey we're on. It's the journey they were on back then, and it's the journey we're on today. That's part of the mystery. Ellie's wondering about that. And on the second Sunday of Advent, we remembered the story around the Holy Family and how Mother Mary and Father Joseph walked all the way to Bethlehem. Yes, they had been pointed to Bethlehem. But Mary, who was about to have a baby, found it hard to walk. So sometimes she would get to ride this donkey. But when you think about it, when you're about to have a baby, it's pretty hard to ride on a donkey too. So sometimes she would ride, sometimes she would walk all the way to Bethlehem. It was a long way, and it took 6 days. And I bet they were some of the last people to make it up the road to Bethlehem. And this is the card of the shepherds. On the third Sunday of Advent, today, we remember the shepherds. Now, the shepherds were out in the fields, out and about around Bethlehem. And it was very dark at night out there, no lights. And they were guarding their sheep from the wolves, having a hard time staying awake. Well, they were there in the dark of the night when suddenly the sky was filled with light. And they heard a noise, and they weren't sure, like, what is that noise? What is this light? What's happening? We're so afraid. But then they heard the voices. They were singing, and they were saying, don't be afraid. Because they were angels singing. And angels oftentimes will say, don't be afraid. Because when you have a messenger from God, that can be kind of scary. So the first thing they'll say is, don't be afraid. And that's what they did. Don't be afraid, they said. We bring you glad tidings of peace and goodwill to all peoples of the earth. A child is born, in Bethlehem. Run, go, hurry, make your way to greet the new king. That must have been so exciting. So now, along with us and the Holy Family, the shepherds are also on their way to Bethlehem to greet the mystery of Christmas. Here is the light of the prophets. The prophets can be men or women, boys or girls. I bet there's some prophets watching this right now. They help us know the right way to go. And here is the light of the Holy Family. And here is the light of the shepherds. Oh, something's different here, isn't it? This candle is a different color. Can you see what color it is? It's not purple like these two. This one's pink, the color of roses. Because even though Advent is a serious time about a serious thing happening, well, those angels were very joyful, and pink is the color of joy. Did you know that? It's a color that signifies joy. You can see it on our little Advent wreath here. We have a pink candle, and hopefully you have one too in your Advent wreath. Pink's also a color that reminds us of Mother Mary, the color of the rose. The rose is also a symbol for Mary. So we have several reasons for pink. And this Sunday in particular is a good Sunday for some celebrations, the third Sunday of Advent. So here we have the light of the prophets. The light is here and it's now. But the light has changed from here. The light moves everywhere. So the prophets are with us no matter where we go. Change the light of the Holy Family. See the light moving out. It doesn't look the same anymore, doesn't it? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not here. And here is the light of the shepherds. It's also changed. It was here, but now it's everywhere. So the light of the shepherds was back then, and it's now, and it moves out from here, from me to you to everywhere. So many mysteries. Well, 1, 2, 3, third Sunday in Advent, not too much longer until the mystery of Christmas. And I hope you're doing a good job getting ready. I hope you're taking time to remember the prophets telling you to stop, watch, listen, because we don't want to miss that mystery of Christmas, do we? So take some time today for your feast day. Maybe you've got some Christmas cookies by now. Maybe some eggnog or some kind of juice. All sorts of good food this time of year, isn't there? Take time for hugs, smiles, all sorts of good snuggles. It's kind of chilly outside. Story time and singing. We have so many wonderful ways to get our hearts ready for the mystery of Christmas, and I hope you enjoy all of them this week. So take care. Remember to take your prayer time, talk to God, share with Him what you're thinking and feeling. Take time to feel God's love deep down in your heart, knowing each day, every day, that God loves you so much. And so do I. Peace, and I'll see you next time.